All right, there it goes. It says we're recording. Hey, everybody, welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday. How fun to be doing this on a day other than Monday with the 4th of July holiday. I didn't want to go a whole week without seeing you guys and doing a training. And I think there's so many questions about blogging. It's kind of this up wave that's going on right now. I know a couple of you already have a blog. Some of you have messaged in about getting started. Where do I begin? How do I? And so I thought, you know what, let's go ahead and throw this one in there, even though it's a different day than we normally do webinars. So impressed with all of you guys that are here and also on the phone. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay there as well. So blogging, we have an entire section on Party Plan Divas called Blogging Divas. And it was one of those things that it was supposed to be like a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, whatever, and it's just kind of, there's so many updates in those first 30 days, I haven't necessarily expanded it because those core 30 days are so incredibly important. And so what I wanted to talk about today was to kind of go over, first of all, why you want to have a blog briefly, but then to kind of go over some of the absolute basics, because there are little bitty pieces that if you miss, they can really hurt you in the long run. And I'm speaking from 100% experience. So first of all, reasons why you want to have a blog. If all the online presence you have is your replicating website and like a Facebook page, then you're really knocking yourself out of the ability to get into Google. You're making work harder for you because a blog can really kind of keep everything together in one place, and it really just has more functionality for you to kind of have your own piece of the internet. That's what you kind of have to think of with a blog. Now, originally everybody thought a blog was how you share pictures with grandma, right? But there's so much more, and blogs have really kind of evolved from being a place to just share photos with family members to a place that you can really, again, have your own slice piece of the internet that is going to be yours, only yours, and you can kind of control what happens. The truth of the matter is, when you are relying on a replicating website to be your only real means of an online presence, number one, Google does not like them, okay? Because Google likes different content, new content. We'll talk about that in a second. But when you're doing a replicating website, you're literally in competition with your corporate office and with every other consultant there is, because you all have the same thing. So you can't, there is no, I mean, it's almost luck of the draw. What we're figuring out is that things link to that site and whatever. Like when you Google your company, who do you see popping up first and why and all that kind of stuff. But so having a blog, which some people call a personal website, excuse me, because essentially it is the same thing. This is your space that you can do whatever you want within your company's policies, of course, but you can kind of have your own thing. It is a hub. It is a place that you can, here we go, stand out from the crowd, share your expertise, be, you know, not everybody in your company is going to start a blog. Why? Number one, they don't know how or why or whatever. Number two, they think this is just a fad. I can tell you that I remember talking to people that said they weren't interested in fooling with Facebook. And I'm not saying that, well, first of all, blogging is almost as big as Facebook now anyway, but my point is that, you know, this is something that's not going away. And having your own piece of the internet, Facebook could end tomorrow. Granted, it may crash the economy, but you know, Facebook could end at any given time. And your corporate office, there has been a very large sellout in the direct sales industry just this week that has kind of shaken things up a little bit. And so everyone who kind of had all of their eggs, so to speak, in that one basket, it was a company that sold to another company. So what that means is every single person's link is changing. And now I'm not saying, that your corporate office is ever going to do this or your company's not going anywhere or whatever, but it's interesting because the divas that I have had that I am working with, all they have to do is change their links on their main blog, but they don't care. Everybody else is kind of freaking out, right? Because all of their business cards are now wrong. All of everything on Facebook, everything that did get into Google, all that kind of stuff, it now broke all of those links because it changed. But that is, again, another reason why you want to have your domain. You own it. No matter what happens, that's your piece, which is a huge thing for branding, but also, again, kind of that ownership. You can share your expertise. There are things in your company and your training that nobody else outside of your company is trained on. I was in skincare, so I learned all about the different layers of skin, the different whatever, almost like esthetician level. But the average person doesn't know that. But when you realize you're a solution creator, you're a solution finder, you're a solution person. So your products, you have to have that knowledge. So, if it's skincare and somebody is trying to figure out how to fix cystic acne, then you need to know. But the blog is a great place, again, for you to kind of talk about that and to share it. Social media all in one place. We'll talk about that. The thing is, social media, again, this little thing called Facebook, I think, I just shared it, just hit 2 billion people. There's only like 8 billion people in the whole world. And 2 billion of them are now users on Facebook. Holy cow. Like, who would have thought that a site that started out just connecting people in one college campus would now have, a quarter of the people in the entire world on it. The analytics, okay, Facebook's got some good analytics, but nothing compared to what Google can do on your blog. Sorry, I just started pouring down rain. And then, okay, these are out of order. So analytics, you can really get a glimpse as to what is working. You can do more of what works and less of what doesn't. Wouldn't you love if, and you can kind of do this in Facebook, but if you got a really clear-cut picture that your customers do like something or they don't like something, okay? Google Analytics can do that on a blog. Now, it has to be a self-hosted blog. This is not a Blogger blog. This is not even a WordPress.com blog. And I think that's a reason why, again, a lot of people don't do it, is because they go to Blogger, it doesn't have the functionality. They go to WordPress, it doesn't have the functionality. They go to Wix, that W-I-X. So, you have to have your domain, and we talk about this in Blogging Divas, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but you will purchase your domain, that is your .com. And you want something that no matter what you do, no matter where your life goes, no matter what happens to your company, whatever, it's you, okay? Because you're branding you. Remember, we talk about that the only thing that nobody else has in your company, in the world, whatever, is you. So you're choosing a domain that is you. And then you're going to purchase hosting and then install your blog on your host. And so the way that you have to think about that is you're purchasing your domain, that's your address, your street address, okay? And then you're purchasing your lot, which that is your hosting, and you're going to pay a monthly fee. We have an account with the One Stop Blog Shop where you can do, I think it's $6, $5.99, $6 a month. And that's essentially where you're buying your lot, your little piece of land on the internet. And then if you sign up with One Stop, because I know their software and I can do it, then part of your Party Plan Divas membership is that I will install the house, okay, the blog, and let you choose the theme and initial setup and stuff like that for the house that is on that land. If you do not go through that 3-step process, if you just sign up with a WordPress.com or .com or whatever, you don't get any of the content. They do. You cannot have the same functionality that if you own it, if it's on your own .com, your own self-hosting, and that is because plugins and so on and so forth don't work on. They don't want to run the plugins. When you have your own, and this is getting a little techie, but when you have your own, you can install the functionality, and some of them we're going to talk about in just a minute. So you get your address, you purchase your land, I build your house, okay? Then what? And you're like, okay, so all field of dreams-ish. If you build it, they will come. Kind of, sort of, but there's so much more to it. So first of all, blogging, you should want to blog because you want to have a place on the internet that's yours for you to share all of the things that you love. And by the way, one of the things that you love is your direct sales company. You will not be writing 100% about business. You will not, your blog is not going to be 100% business. For the same reason that, and we even have a conversation going on Facebook right now about it, for the same reason that you post various content on Facebook is the same reason why you're going to post various content on your blog to an extent. We'll talk about that in a second. The reason why: nobody wants to hear about your business every single day. Nobody. You, that's it, okay? Nobody wants to hear about your business 100% of the time. You want, though, people to visit your blog every single day. You want to create content that gets people there every single day. It's not going to be 100% business because, again, people are not interested in your business 100% of the time. So what are your other loves? What are your other passions? What are your other interests? Those are things that you will also blog about because people will come for the other stuff. People will get to know you. You really create relationships with these people online. It's interesting because I have other bloggers that I follow and other people on social media that I follow and stuff, and I was just thinking today, because I watch Instagram stories, I started doing Instagram stories every day, that I'm like, I know more people's names, their dogs' names, their kids' names, their, whatever. And so when they recommend a product, I can't tell you how many times, even in the last week, that somebody that I have never laid eyes on, never actually spoken to, never whatever, they recommend something and boom, I order it. I don't even think about it. That's what you're creating. And they're not always talking about their business for sure, but we're connecting on other likes and interests and similarities. And when they say, go buy this, I'm like, whoop, okay, because I trust them, because I like them, because we have that relationship. And that is essentially what you have to do in direct sales as a whole, but a blog is just a really good avenue for you to create that. It becomes your place, and you will become known for that. I can tell you, because some of you that are on here on the phone, you guys have tagged me in things that relate to stuff that I have blogged about, right? So if you think about that, that is, again, how you kind of create that. I love blogging so much. I got into blogging to drive traffic to Party Plan Divas. I had no intention of doing a personal blog, but I fell so in love with it that I ended up starting a secondary blog. So I have the blog for the community where I talk about business stuff and social media stuff and free training and product reviews and whatever. And then I actually started my personal blog also, which is Moscato Mom. So I get tagged in wine stuff all the time, even though I very seldom drink wine. But anyway, the thing is, it resonates. You guys see wine, you think of me. That's how it works. We want people to see things and think of you. So it doesn't necessarily have to be your business stuff. Maybe you're into gardening. You guys know that I've recently gotten into succulents and talking about succulents. So now I get tagged in succulent stuff. That's the relationships. That's how. So your interest, it could be painting, it could be crocheting, it could be knitting, it could be reading, it could be, any of those things, gardening, any of those things. They're interests, so you can write about them, but it's things that people will come to you for. All right, okay. So I want to talk about some basics. Well, tell me below, do you have a blog, or are you just trying to figure out if you want to blog? I know some of you have blogs, and some of you are probably here thinking, do I really want to spend time on this? If you already have a blog, let's talk about, okay, all right, good deal. So Christina may kind of go like, this may kind of like be overwhelming, so just bear with me. Cindy, I know that you have one. So in the very basic stage, we've got our address, we've got our land, we've built our house, or we're going to build our house. There are three main things that you have to think about in the beginning stage, and things that if you haven't started yet, that you want to kind of organize in your mind. If you have started, I know that you have a lot of this stuff set up, but I also know you set it up a couple months ago. So three big things, kind of building blocks to your blog. The first one is posts, the second one is pages, and the third one is categories. And then there's tags, but we'll talk about that on another day. Your blog pages are static content. These are pages where you are going to share the things that essentially do not change. These have great SEO ability. Google on a page, they are coded a little bit different. On a page, it is where you are telling Google what your specialty is. It is telling Google when people are looking for something, what do they want to be looking for in order to find me? Okay, and that's these pages. They have great SEO. Again, what are you having? But they can also be linked out anywhere. So you can share a page, you can link a page, you can push a page to your Facebook or link it, whatever. They have the same URL type structure that you can use anywhere. It used to be that it was a little more difficult to share pages out and stuff. But because of the SEO abilities, they've made it a lot easier for pages to go out. Things that are static, things that just don't change, or I would say they don't change often. Your about page. Now you're going to update this, obviously, we'll talk about that in a second, but your about page stays pretty static. So somewhere on your blog, in your navigation or down that sidebar or whatever, you'll have the about you. On your about page, you want to tell people who you are, what you do, what your loves are. Do you have kids? Do you have a spouse? Do you have dogs? Do you have, whatever? On your about page, you're really kind of painting this picture and the story of you for people to decide if they want to follow you, if they want to be a part of your blog, and what you have in common. Your hostess program, your opportunity, all of that kind of stuff. These are going to go on pages because you want them like, boom, right there where people can see it. You also, again, you want static content, but has that SEO. All right, so that's the pages. Now, I'm trying to think of how we can like make this into a piece, like a metaphor or whatever, like our house. Okay, so blog categories. Like I said, you're not going to be 100% business. So you want to choose like 5 main things that you're going to write about. One is going to be your business. So 4 other things that you can write about that you're passionate about. It could be recipes, it could be crafts, it could be gardening, it could be time management, which is what I write about, time management, organization, stuff like that. Like think about what other things are you passionate about? Travel could be one. If you like to travel, if you have an RV, you could also have a category about your local town. And that one is really, really good if you are looking to kind of expand. Next week, we're going to be talking about how to use Facebook to build your local business. Having a category that is all stuff going on in your town is a great one to kind of get your name out in the area. So you pick 5 things to talk about. And those are kind of like the file folders, okay? Because your blog posts are going to be what you put into all 5. So blog posts are the new content. This is stuff that you're writing about. So if one of your topics, for instance, is recipes, then all of your recipes are different posts. If one of them is travel, then all of you're writing about things to do in your town, places to eat in your town, free things for kids, like that kind of stuff. These are all those blog posts that go into the categories. Google loves new content. When you have nobody's looking for what worked, years ago, right? We can ask our parents for that or whatever. Google wants that new content. They want to be able to, when somebody looks for something, when somebody Googles something, they want to be able to give them the best answer. That's where SEO comes in. We're going to talk about that in a second. So let me know if I'm flying over your head here. But Google wants to give the best answer for what somebody is searching for. So that new content, and the reason why you pick the 5 categories is because since you're telling Google, this is what I am an expert in. This is what, send people to me for these things. All of your posts should fit under these categories. So you don't want them to be too terribly vague, because remember, it's Google trying to understand this. So you have to make it where Google gets it, so to speak. Okay, and like the Diva Success System, assign a day to a top of a category. The other reason why I chose 5 is because of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, you want to create content often. Not every single post you have to spend hours on and making all this big elaborate or whatever. But the reason why a lot of people don't blog is because it is time consuming. But again, it should be a love. I said you should want to blog to increase your business but also, because you want to have that slice of you on the internet. But it'll keep you organized to have something. Remember how we have in our Diva Success System, we have Money Monday, Team Tuesday, whatever. Well, you may have recipe, meal day Monday, business Tuesday, or whatever. It is as much to keep you with stuff to write about as it is to keep your readers. Your readers will come to expect, know, understand, and it kind of throws things off, when you don't. Now, this is saying that I'm going to tell you to put out 5 blog posts every single week. You don't have to do that, okay? But you want to kind of get a little bit of consistency, both to tell Google this is a live and active site, and also to have your readers to kind of know what to expect. It also makes your social media strategy much easier when you know that you have those posts coming up and tops and stuff like that. Link the blog post to Facebook, use the same content, or show, yes. So, yes, and I'm getting to that. See, that's my, I think maybe one of my favorite parts about the blog is because from the blog, you can post things to Facebook. But the thing is, they never go away. On Facebook, having to search for stuff and whatever, ugh. On the blog, it's all right there. So you can push to Facebook, you can push to Twitter, you can push to Tumblr, you can push, it's going to Google. You can push to Pinterest. Oh my gosh, you guys know I'm a huge lover of Pinterest. We get most of our traffic from Pinterest. It's not Facebook. And everybody puts all their eggs in that basket of Facebook. And I'm like, man, we're missing out. Pinterest is huge for traffic. And a lot of people that I have, when they join and say, where did you find Party Fun Divas? They found us from Pinterest. All right. Was I finished with that? Yeah, I think so. Again, you don't have to blog every single day of the week, although I would suggest as you're building the blog to tell Google that the first couple of weeks you'll want to write. Create content. Content is king in blogging. Create that content. Keep writing. So basic SEO, very, very basic. First of all, you've got your categories. All right, those you can choose what you're passionate about, because like direct sales, you have to be passionate about it and love it in order to keep it going, because there's going to be some posts that you write and nobody's going to see it, nobody's going to comment, you've spent all this time into it and you're just going to hear crickets, okay? Then you'll post a blog post, like for instance, my #1 blog post I wrote 4 years ago. It still sends me over 1,000 new page views every single day from brand new people. I wrote it on a total whim because somebody asked me a question about something. So you have to be passionate about it. You have to, and it has absolutely nothing to do with my blog, by the way. But so that's why I'm saying don't stress over, just write about the things you love, write about the things that you're passionate about, because that is what will come through. All right. So you pick your 5, whatever, and then your keywords. What would people be looking for within those 5? So, for instance, if you were going to go, and I'm thinking succulents because they're right here. So let's say you were going to talk about gardening, and you're going to have a category is gardening. I'm going to think about, how do I know if I'm overwatering succulents, or how to get started with succulents, or what succulents are best for Florida, or whatever. These are all these research keywords, what people would be looking for. If you, there is a Google keyword generator that you can use, just Google keyword generator, but also Pinterest. If you are talking about gardening, you can go into Pinterest, and in that search, type in succulents, and it auto-populates, and Google will do this also, it auto-populates the top search terms. That being said, you don't want to try to, like if you're going up against gardening.com, you're going to have trouble with it. But you can look in, and long tail keywords, okay? So you're not going to keyword the word succulents. You'll never rank for that, okay? Because everybody's using succulents. But what you may rank for is getting started with succulents. Succulent 101. How to keep succulents alive, like those long tail, keywords, and you will use that as the title, and then you will use that inside the post as well. And then I suggest Yoast, Ioast. It's a plugin for SEO that'll take that one step further, but that's a little techie, and we're running out of time. Size matters. You want your post to be nice and long, okay? So every and Yoast will tell you this also. You don't want more than 20 words a sentence. Granted, you can have a little bit of it, but again, you want essentially a 4th grade reading level is what Google says. So you don't want to have these huge chunks of paragraphs, because people skim, people are going through. So you want to have a nice long post between 500 to 1,000 words, which I remember in school when a professor would say, 1,000-word essay or whatever, you would hear like these collective groans. This is another reason why you want to make sure you're talking about the things that you love, because while I can't do 1,000 words on some random topic that a professor would assign, I can definitely do 1,000 words on gardening, food, keto, travel, whatever. So again, that's why you want to, because you want to have nice long posts. You've got to be writing about those things that you're passionate about. And then SEOing images too. Again, all of this is explained much more in depth and much more easy to follow in the Blogging Divas section. All right, we're running out of time. So, but like Christine was asking about the posts and stuff. So my favorite thing about the blog is actually a plugin that I pay, I want to say $20 a month for, $22 a month, somewhere in there, and it's called CoSchedule. And I have a link that if you want to test it out. But this, you guys, is my calendar. And it's probably fuzzy. I don't know why it's not looking better here, but you can see this is Party Plan Divas marketing calendar. This is in my blog. If you can look, this is where it goes to Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook. My point is, everything is automated, okay? I write a blog post, and I have applied a CoSchedule template to it, so I spend an hour or so writing it. I SEO the post, I SEO the images, I apply the template, and CoSchedule plugs in a social media calendar to where that blog post, now I set it up initially, but I now just apply it to every post. For the next 12 calendar months, that blog post will link out to Facebook, to Twitter, to Tumblr, to a Facebook group, so on and so forth. Like, I know that's hard to explain without like seeing it or whatever, but my point is, when you're thinking, what do I post? How do I get stuff going on my Facebook page? What, do I even have to use Twitter? All that kind of stuff. CoSchedule, I put it together on the blog. You can't do this with Facebook. You can't do this with Twitter. You can't do this. You can kind of do it with Hootsuite, but it's not near as good because there's no content on Hootsuite. Oh, and you can actually do Pinterest with this too. So I can have these things going on Pinterest every single day of the week. It just is this, woo, that was lightning and thunder. Anyway, it just hubs it all in together. If you're interested in doing this, if you want, some help getting CoSchedule or whatever set up, I will be more than happy to show you guys how to do that. But it just, with time management, organization, you've got a full-time job, you've got kids home for summer, you've got, whatever, CoSchedule does like all of the work. All right. So here's the homework. If you don't have a blog, set one up. Okay. I can help you with that. I would love to help you with that. It's like my favorite part. Get the domain, get the hosting, and then Genesis is the platform that I recommend that goes within WordPress for a whole host of reasons, but it just makes it functional and easy. If you do have a blog, set up or update your pages. Make sure that your static pages are there and are useful and are up to date. So if you set them up a couple months ago, make sure that they are up to date. They have a current picture of you, that it has your, if your child is 8 and your blog says that he's 7, update that, okay? So make sure those are updated, because remember, again, Google loves that new content. So it's going to see that you're updating that content. It's set up or clean up categories, okay? If you already have categories set up, used to be that we would have categories for every stinking thing. Narrow it down, kind of bring it in a little bit. Or if you don't have any set up, decide what you want those 5 to be. And then brainstorm a blog topic, 5 blog topics to go under each category. That will get you started. That would give you 25 different topics that you can then begin to work on, which is a huge start in blogging. All right. So again, the biggest thing is just a blog is yours, and it's so important for branding, for ownership, for longevity of your business. I can't stress enough how important it is. In the internet, when you look at technology, when you look at how far technology has come, where it is headed, it's so important to have your own little slice of the pie. And for only $6 a month, I have purchased my girls' names. I have purchased my name. It's about to be thundering again. I'll get off of here. But you guys, it's so important for you to have that. And business, you can run it, but people are going to fall in love with you. And so no matter what happens to your business, no matter what happens to your company, no matter what happens to you decide you want to leave, you have a new opportunity that comes up, or you want to add something like, maybe you're doing handbags now and you're like this brand new company that, does jewelry or whatever has come out and you want to add it to it. That's fine. You can run both right there on that blog, because the blog is you. It is your little section of the internet. So, just more reasons than I can ever put into one webinar as to why you want to have a blog. And I am here for you every step of the way to help you get that set up.